You happen to be in a very, strange place that I don't even know if you can speak on the story or not, because on one end, you work for Fox News.
I do.
Okay. And you've been there for
30 years.
30 years in
Insane.
October.
And
Thank you. Somebody has a memory here.
Let's go.
And 30 years with Fox News. On the other end, you have a very good relationship with the president, President Trump.
I do.
And so you're kind of in the middle of the thing where last week, I'm not sure if you can speak on it or not. Obviously, we're going to open up with the story because it's you, Fox, Trump, and we've been talking about this whole Epstein thing for a minute. Trump, while everyone's talking about everything that's going on, you post this message last week on all the victories that most people are not looking. They're overlooking. Rob, if you can play this clip real quick, and you're going to react to yourself real quick. Go ahead, Rob.
One ugly guy.
That I have been a longtime friend and supporter. We've been very transparent of President Trump. But even I am frankly amazed at what he has been able to do against all odds in such a very short period of time. What we're living through, you better take, really close notes, because you most likely will never see this again in your lifetime. The single most consequential, transformational presidency in our lifetime. And without a doubt, the underlying theme of the White House, promises made, right, promises kept.
Okay, so the different victories that he's had, President Trump, we've seen him, we followed very closely on what he's done. Then all of a sudden, Wall Street Journal releases a story last week, I want to say, is it last week? Tuesday, yeah, last week, about a letter that the president got or wrote to Epstein at his 50th birthday party, I believe. And Rob, if you tell me what letter this page is on, Trump says, okay, I'm going to cause a release. Okay, I'm saying Trump. Okay, so is that page 5? Trump sues Wall Street Journal, Rupert Murdoch, over the Epstein letter. Okay, and as you go through the letter, most people are saying this is not true. Most people are saying this is not a real story. Most people are saying he's not doing this. He's not doodling. Well, he does doodle. No, he doesn't doodle. My father would never write this. Everyone's going back and forth because this Epstein thing became, in my opinion, I've said it on Jesse, I've said it on many different places, it was a fumble. I don't think it was handled properly. Promises were made. Promises were not kept when it comes down to this specific topic. And I rated a lot of different people. And he's over the years said a lot of bad things about Epstein on camera. He said, here's a guy that, did he kill himself? Did he not kill himself? Did this happen? Did that not happen? Who knows what happened? We got to get to the bottom of it. And you're in the middle. How do you manage for you? You go to work. Your friend is Trump, President Trump, for many years. And your boss is Rupert Murdoch. They used to be good. Now he is suing your boss for $10 billion. How do you manage that?
It's easy. I just always tell the truth. It's not really that complicated. I have been blessed to work for a company that lets me be me. And honestly, that is rare in broadcasting. You're independent. You make your own decisions, right? But for the most part, I make my own decisions. I don't have these handcuffs on that maybe some other people at other networks do. What I do for a living is I am a member of the press, right? I can produce thousands of hours of straight news coverage, radio and TV, over my career. I can produce thousands of hours of investigative reporting. I can produce thousands of hours of opinion, but I'm upfront, I'm honest, I am a conservative. I don't hide the fact that I support Donald Trump. I can produce thousands of hours, radio and TV, of topics on culture and sports and anything else that's going on in the world. So I just find it interesting. Whenever people, I find for myself, when people start getting really loud and emotional and rushing to judgment, I have this reaction. I pull back. One of the things, my first thought is, on the Epstein files, is if there was something so damning in there about Donald Trump and the weaponized Department of Justice of Joe Biden had it, does anyone here doubt they would have released it?
Just once, Sean, if they're all on it too. If Bill Clinton and all that group is in there, they're like, we really want to, but we can't because we're in with him.
They could have selectively leaked, though. I mean, they're more sophisticated than that.
True, but then
right?
the investigation opens up, Sean. But I see where you're coming from, but that's what it felt like I'm just like you. I love the president. I love what he's doing. Pat mentioned that he stumbled. But that's the one thing that hit me in my head where I'm like, maybe, I'm not saying he's definitely on it, but I mean, he knew the guy. Maybe they're all on it. They're all on it as well.
Okay,
they
so
don't wanna
add
go
one
down-
more piece to the puzzle, right? Because to me, it's a puzzle, people trying to put it together. 20 plus years ago, he threw his ass out of Mar-a-Lago. Okay, now, if you got something on somebody, you're going to throw him out of your club in a spectacular fashion and embarrass the hell out of the guy and not expect that that guy's going to come back at you with information if he had it. I don't know. That's hard for me to believe. Let me backtrack a hair and how my brain works and the way I approach things. You want the long version or the short one?
What I want to know is if there's anyone qualified.
I have a long
to,
version.
No, give me. You 30 years you've been in this business.
Yeah.
You're in New York. You come to Florida a lot.
No,
You're
I
a
live
lot-
in Florida. I'm done.
I know.
I'm out of New York.
I saw that May
Free
when you
state
made
of
that
Florida.
announcement. Yeah, freaking. Oh, yeah, welcome. We did the same thing. We left California. We lived in Dallas 5 years now. We've been here 4 years. We love it. But your understanding of what's happened with Epstein, you've been in this 30 years. 30 years is a long time ago where stories, 90s, 95 come in and you're hearing stuff about this guy. What is your impression? Is this a bad guy? Is this guy, did this guy do what he did? Because some people are saying, who knows if he did? Now they're saying, who knows if the
Trump,
stories are right
I
or
know
wrong?
the story. When he got kicked out of Mar-a-Lago, it was because of how he treated young women. That I know for a fact. It wasn't for no reason at all. That the reason he got kicked out was because of his treatment of young women at Mar-a-Lago. Let me backtrack to what I was going to say. So I was a local radio host before I started at Fox in Atlanta. First, I spent 5 years in Santa Barbara, California. I went to Huntsville, Alabama, was paid $19,000 a year, but I loved what I was doing. I loved being behind this microphone. Then I got a promotion to a big market, Atlanta. I was there from 92 to 96. I can get you the year-end edition of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. 1996 was a great year. The Olympics came and Sean Hannity left. I have that framed.
That's great.
That's pretty cool, right? And I guess I had some
That
impact
is
on the
great.
market. And then that's when I got hired by Fox, so I went up to Fox. However, my last year there, remember the Olympics in the city of Atlanta? Remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Remember a guy by the name of Richard Jewell?
Of course, he was the guy that I think
They were
found
calling
the-
him
yeah.
Security guy that was falsely accused when he
Falsely
actually
accused, yes.
found the backpack.
Okay. Here's the better part of the story.
Oh, they
So-
made a movie about this guy. Yes, of course.
I'm on the
Yes.
air the day that the Atlanta Journal-Constitution comes out with, he fits the profile of the lone bomber because he lives with his mother. Okay. Maybe he lives with his mother because he wants to save money, right?
I like where this
So
guy's head's at.
I was instinctively on the air suspicious that this is, I'm not rushing a judgment here. Little did I know, and I found out later, Richard Jewell was listening to my program at that moment. And we had a conversation later. I got one of the early interviews with him. According to his lawyer, the stress of all this killed this guy, getting hammered in the press. It went on for a long, long period of time. But when he came on the program, that taught me a valuable lesson about rushing a judgment. So I have a history, right? Everyone has a history in broadcasting. And I've learned not to rush to judgment. And I like to watch stories develop. That's why I said when people start going in and, racing out there and they're trying to outdo each other and they want to be first and they got their theory. And I kind of feel a little bit like this on the Epstein story. But if you go through my list of issues I got right over the years and everyone else in the corrupt legacy, state-run media mob got wrong, I was right about Duke Lacrosse. I went to meet with those families. I talked to them. I knew exculpatory evidence was coming out. UVA, I was right on that. Everybody else was wrong. Ferguson, Missouri. I had so many police contacts that were telling me, Sean, there are multiple African-American eyewitnesses that will corroborate Darren Wilson's story. I got that right. Everybody else went with hands up, don't shoot, which is a crock of bullshit. I try not to rush to judgment. I got Freddie Gray in Baltimore right. I got George Zimmerman right because I went down, and I also had a law enforcement contact that told me, no, there's going to be testimony from an eyewitness that says that George Zimmerman was on the ground and there was a ground and pound and his head was being pounded into the cement. Then I can go to Russia collusion, the FISA warrants, the impeachment 1, impeachment 2, all of these other witch hunts against Trump How did I end up? Is it an accident that I end up on the right side of those stories? I'm not, Patrick Bet-David, I am not tooting my own horn. I am only saying what works for me is when everyone goes deep and they're just rushing in, I tend to just do this and pull back. That's what I'm doing here. Now, I have a history. I know Pam Bondi for 30 years. I've known Dan Bongino forever. I mean, we have a good relationship. I know Kash Patel. I've known him forever. So maybe did they thought there was information in there? Yeah, my understanding is that the files had names of victims. My understanding is the tapes were taken from Epstein's, and again, these are sources. I'm not definitively saying it, but the tapes were, kiddie porn. Are they going to release kiddie porn? Are they going to release the names of victims? Now, what they are trying to do, which I think is very smart, and
that?
I'd like to see it.
You believe what they're
I'm not
saying?
right now, I'm in the point where I've not rushed to judgment. I'm not making a decision. I'm giving you the honest answer.
You believe that? So maybe from my stand, you have to realize this is so tough because 3 times I voted for this guy. I'm speaking for myself, right?
Yeah.
16, 20, and 24. When you come out and Bondi tells media,
At a restaurant?
James O'Keefe's group, when they're coming and recording, there's terrible things in those tapes.
$10,000.
Cash comes out, says things about them. Bongino comes out saying, I'm in a Fox room with another person that I can't say their name because Fox didn't allow me to give the name, that the footage that they have goes back to Mossad, and it's all linked back to Mossad with Epstein.
By the way, how the hell did the Mossad get pulled into this?
How did Mossad get pulled into Epstein?
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the connection. Because his father somehow might have been connected to him?
Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert Maxwell.
Mr. Hannity, let's not play games here.
Yeah.
You know the Mossad runs the United States. Everyone knows that.
No, by the way, he's being
I'm
sarcastic.
joking, by the way. But certain members of our audience believe that.
So,
What do you feel? Why do you feel that's such a distraction?
There were people that didn't want to take out Iran's nuclear facilities. For the life of me, I cannot understand that. For the life of me, there is a vein of, I would argue, virulent anti-Semitism. We see it in the halls of Congress. We see it on college campuses. But it's simple, basic, fundamental common sense. What frustrates me about that issue is that if that's your reason for not wanting to take out their nuclear sites, you don't understand the Trump doctrine. Because in his first term, he kicked the crap out of the ISIS caliphate, defeated them in record time, took out Baghdadi and associates, took out Soleimani, dropped the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan. And so the Trump doctrine is, yeah, sure, no forever wars. I'm with you. I don't want forever wars. We can't ever go back and do what we did in Iraq ever again. With the advancement of military technology, we won't have to fight wars that way. Future wars will be fought in air-conditioned offices. But I say all that, and it's like, did you not understand the Trump doctrine?
Wait, let me go back to what you said. Yeah. So you 30 years, Fox, you're not under the impression of any stories that Jeffrey Epstein and his brother Mark may be linked back to Mossad with Israel, with the amount
I have
of
no evidence of that.
So 32 times the Prime Minister of Israel visits.
Well, Ehud Barak,
Right. In his apartment, and he's seen leaving with a mask covering his face.
That's not a valid concern.
Oh, no, it is a valid concern.
Okay.
Just because I say that I stand back and wait, I'm just telling you, I can't give you a definitive answer today. Now, do I want to get to the bottom of all of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do find people getting over their skis a little bit in their commentary. That's my humble opinion. And
Self-inflicted, though. I think a part of this is self-inflicted.
They should be. You never want to overpromise and underdeliver.
To me,
never.
To me, it would have stopped right there. Because if I run for office and I say, here's the 5 things, this is what's important to me. And then all of a sudden, guys on my team start making promises. Oh, we're going to do this. And then they go on podcasts. And we're going to do, and let me tell you, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, guys, listen. Who are you? When you say we, who is we? Are you representing me? Did I tell you we're going to do that? We're not doing that. I'm going to let you know, take the lead. So I feel the way they got into this debacle is they did it to themselves. Now, there's plenty of research, independent journalists that have done to find out stuff about Epstein that they're not too comfortable about. And there's plenty of stuff out there. I mean, I was watching his deposition this morning on, hey, have you ever gotten a felony before? I have. What were your felonies for? One was for solicitation of prostitution, and the other one was solicitation for a minor.
By the way, that deal never should have happened with that Palm Beach prosecutor. That was insane. That was the sweetheart deal of all deals.
Well, yeah, and so again, Vinny, I'm sorry. I know
No,
you want
no,
to
no,
say
no, no,
something.
no,
To
it's all
me, a part of that
No,
sweet
keep fighting. I kind of like it.
No, we're
a
not.
part of that sweetheart deal is where people are going back and saying, I met Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi gives me the vibes of a very character, ethical type of a person. I
She is. I can tell you that.
I got nothing but positive vibes. She was very nice to my boys. She was very respectful. But to all of a sudden say that they have nothing and it's just child porn, that's confusing. The Vol Conference, September 8th through the 11th. Nearly 12,000 people will be coming this year, but we have 3 guest speakers that I'll be announcing here to you, and it's going to be massive. And they're all intentionally invited for different reasons. This was all intentional, and there's going to be a handful of massive announcements being made at the Vault Conference. If you're somebody that's running a business owner, the great thing about the Vault is you'll be having a conversation with somebody at the event, and you just run into them at the store, and they're an aspiring entrepreneur. Then you go to talk to somebody else that they're an executive of a Fortune 500 company. Then you go talk to somebody else who just exited their company and sold it for $700 million. Then you go talk to somebody else that's still with a big private equity company that's trying to deploy hundreds of millions of dollars. Then you go talk to somebody else from Goldman Sachs that's a money manager. The types of people, then you go talk to somebody else that's a podcaster, YouTuber, that you recognize their faces. The types of people that show up to the Vault makes it a reason why this is becoming a number one business conference in America, that you go to actually get strategies that you leave, you implement, you can win in life, business, all of it combined together. So the 3 speakers that we have are the following. Number 1 speaker. For me, you guys know I'm a big fan of the movie Air, and you guys know I'm a big fan of anybody that's a strong negotiator that's done some of the biggest deals ever. We were able to get David Falk, Michael Jordan's agent, manager, who signed the Nike deal, who, by the way, in 1982, he was the first person to sign a multi-million-dollar deal for James Worthy. He was the first agent to sign a $100 million deal with Alonzo Mourning. Michael Jordan gives him so much credit. I can't wait to sit down and talk to him. He was one of the most entertaining characters in the movie Air, story of Michael Jordan. Number 2 speaker that we'll have at the Vault Conference is the OG content creator, brand person, influencer, who became a billionaire in 1999, who understood what it looked like to be in front of a camera. Martha Stewart will be at the Vault Conference.
What?
So Martha Stewart will be at the Vault Conference. We're
still
excited
looks
about
great.
that. She had one of the best documentaries that everybody talks about, and I'll be sitting down with her, interviewing her at the Vault Conference. A lot of you fellas that want to bring your wives down, just let them know Martha Stewart's going to be there. They're going to want to come and hear and see what she has to say. And then last but not least, the keynote speaker at the Vault Conference that won't be speaking for 30 minutes, not 45 minutes, not an hour, not an hour and 50 minutes. For 2 hours, the one and only Tony Robbins will be at the Vault Conference. Tony Robbins will be at the Vault Conference. So we're excited about that. This is a very, very big deal because there will be multiple big announcements being made there. Some of you guys are going to get a chance to meet the guests that are going to be there. Having said that, Rob, you can play the clip here right now. If you haven't been to the conference, if you haven't yet registered, go to the Vault Conference, get registered, get your ticket, bring your spouse, bring your partner, bring your other employees and executives with you. Come spend 3.5 days with us at the Gaylord Orlando. And at the end of the event, the people that get CEO tickets, we're shutting down Universal Studios. You can go on Velocicoaster as many times as you want to. You can go on the rides. We'll be hanging out. Literally, we're shutting down the entire Universal Studios at the end for all the CEOs to have some fun. You're going to see 58-year-olds act like they're 16 years old, and we're doing business at the same time, which makes it kind of exciting. Again, go to thevaultconference.com website, thevaultconference.com. Get your ticket. This is by far the most important time for you to not go through this process by yourself. Come network with nearly 12,000 people in one room and take your business and your life to the next level. Cannot wait to see you there. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.